follow on briefly from one of the issues that Senator Xenophon just covered. Can you tell me, Mr Colvin, when the national guideline was changed to include essentially the opposition to the application of the death penalty? When did that change occur?
To change to
reflect essentially the ministerial direction. So we had the ministerial direction in 2010.
Yes.
Yeah. Then presumably at some point subsequent, the national guideline on international police assistance in death penalty situations was inserted?
No, Senator, I think you may be conflating the two issues together. So the ministerial direction of 2010 included a reference to the guideline on death penalty.
Yep.
The ministerial direction of 2014 did not.
Yes.
The guideline has been in place, I would have to say, for possibly 30 years or more, but has gone through a number of iterations.
Yep.
Perhaps not 30 years, perhaps 25 years, but certainly in my knowledge, nearly 25 years. The significant changes that occurred consequential to the Bali 9 scenario, but as a result of a number of factors, was 2009. But the guideline itself has gone through a number of iterations.
Okay, so the guideline was not amended as a consequence of the 2010 ministerial direction. Is that what you're suggesting?
No.
Okay. So then did the AFP receive any advice regarding why the ministerial direction, the subsequent ministerial direction, did not make any reference to the government's long-standing opposition to the application of the death penalty?
No, Senator, we did not.
Okay. Did you inquire?
Senator, no, I don't believe we asked for it to be removed, but we also wouldn't have asked for it to be included for the reasons that I said to Senator Xenophon earlier.
Which is that the guidelines cover it anyway?
Well, it wouldn't matter if it's in there or not. The guidelines are the guidelines, and we are required, and all officers of the AFP are required to follow those guidelines.
Okay.
Senator, just to add, the process for, as I understand it, the making of that ministerial direction does involve consultation on the draft with both the Commissioner and the Secretary.
Yes, but from what Mr Colvin's saying, there was no dialogue with respect to whether this provision was in it or not.
No, of course, I wasn't the Commissioner at the time, but it wouldn't have, Senator, to be frank with you, it wouldn't have been an issue that we would have been concerned about, because whether it was in there or not, it wasn't a key part of the ministerial direction. Okay,
so then when it was inserted back in 2010, did it have any impact on how the AFP operated?
Senator, no. We have the guideline. The guideline is there for us to follow. So essentially,
in your view, it essentially adopted what was in the guideline?
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, essentially, Senator, is asking us to give precedence to a guideline which is one of, we would have over 100 guidelines that we follow.
Senator Collins, if it helps, according to my briefing information, the substantive changes that have been discussed in relation to the practical guide on international policy to police assistance in potential death penalty matters came into effect on the 18th of December 2009.
And sorry, that's the most recent change to the guidelines, is it?
There are other changes to the guidelines, I believe, but
that's a substantive change. So occasionally the guideline refers to particular individuals and positions who are in positions to make decisions. From time to time, it's an internal guideline. We need to amend it to reflect current structure of the organisation, for instance. We may refine it in terms of how many people can and can't approve certain parts of the guideline, but the substantive change in relation to when and under what circumstances we can share information was 2009.
So in that eventuality, by the time of a 2010 ministerial directive, of course, that those guidelines would already have reflected essentially that ministerial directive.
Sure. Now I'll go back to the